need to have it smooth and fine at. But in order for it to get smooth, we might have to lay some stuff aside.
Yes, sir.
But too many times, we want to lose weight too fast. And when you use artificial means and alternative means to losing weight, you ever notice how fast you gain it back? And you get even more than you had before you started? There's a reason for that. You didn't go through a natural means of getting rid of stuff. And so since you didn't follow the proper course, the body thinks that it has to make up and compensate for what you did that caused it to lose so much so abruptly. You didn't want to pay the price of exercise, so you took a pill. You didn't want to pay the cost of diet change, so you took your time. You made excuses. And you made ones that sounded good enough to you that allowed others to accept it, and as long as everybody else measured you by the way you measured you, you were fine. But God doesn't measure that way. See, you can put too much weight on one scale and get on the other side and look pretty light. But that scale ain't telling the real story. You only look light because of so much weight that's been added to the other side. But now when you start to take off something, it's going to cost you something. It's going to take some time. So God's remedy is weight loss, where you've got to lay some things aside. But it's also weight that is gained. And you patiently, waiting, for God to work his miracle. When you go through the proper procedure to lose weight, hello, it'll stay off. But if I go back and change back to the habits I had before I began to lose and lay aside weight, I can quickly regain what I intended never to have again. And so is the life of the believer who transgresses against God. See, you don't know how far and how long you're going to go before you're tested again in that area that you thought you had the victory. But isn't it quite strange and interesting how conveniently we can find where we left our pride? Strange and conveniently how easily we can find those selfish behaviors that we had before we came to the Lord. Those high opinions of ourselves that said, I am above what you are requiring of me right now, and I deserve better. You can find those so conveniently after you left them, lost them, and know right where to find them when you need to go back and draw them. And what God is saying to us, we need to come to a place where we don't revisit the things that we've gone away from. If you're going to lay weight aside, he doesn't mean lay it somewhere where you can find it and go back and pick it up. No person enters into a weight loss program to gain. They enter into the program to lose. If they're in a weight gain program, they're in it to gain and not lose. So why do we expect to get opposite results of the efforts that we put forth? If pride puts on weight, then I need to excuse myself from or deliver myself from the pride that gains and adds to me what I'm trying to get rid of. See, the thing about it is we have something in Galatians that helps us to see. Chapter number 5. The stuff that adds weight to us. So we can't walk around saying to the Lord that I don't understand why things are going the way that they're going in my life right now, when the Lord helps us understand very clearly, verse number 19. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these. Ain't no guesswork when you run through the grocery list that God provides you with in the scriptures. Our problem is we act like when we find ourselves in denial that these things don't apply to us because of what we're trying to accomplish or the means by which we want to go about to accomplish what we believe is going to allow us to arrive at the same destination as others without the same effort. Did you catch that? You want to lose weight, but you don't want to exercise. You want to lose weight like a person who exercises. You want to lose weight, but not do the modifications to one's diet that are necessary to change your caloric intake. Same thing with your spiritual walk with God. There ain't no way in the world you can get yourself a full dose of the world and expect to come out spiritual. You can't get you an overindulgent amount, a plate full of dessert, and think you're going to lose weight. You can't pick up a plate full of carbs and think you're going to drop pounds. It don't work like that. The things that add weight are the things that have to be subtracted from the plate in order for me to lose weight. Now, if the weight starts to look like sin, then the things that bring sin, I need to get rid of in my life. Pride brings sin because it causes me to act like somebody that's not pleasing in the sight of God. It causes me to deceive people into believing I'm something that I'm not. It causes me to do things that cause you to applaud me, that cause me to do other things that are not pleasing in the sight of God. Because see, hidden underneath that is my desire for you to applaud me and not God. But the Lord said, if I be lifted up, I'll draw all men unto me. He wasn't saying you and I would draw all men to ourselves. But if he's lifted up in our lives, in our character, in our lifestyle behavior, that behavior draws other souls into his kingdom. People are noticing you, but what do they notice about you? Now consider the weight loss and the weight gain. Most folks will say, John, you losing weight? And you feel so good? Yeah. You're 300 pounds overweight and you lost a pound. A pound.
You fooling yourself.
And they say you lost weight, you get the grin.
You know you ain't.
See, that's how pride operates. Pride goes, child, you know what, I did lose 8 ounces.
8 ounces. 8 ounces.
I need to lose 300, but I lost 8 ounces. And what pride says is, at least give me credit for what I got. But what humility says is, I'm not there yet.
All right.
Humility says there's so much more that's got to go. Humility says this thing is wearing me down. Humility says I got to get rid of it because it's wearing me out. Humility says it's just affecting every other part of my life. You know the extra weight will affect your health? How about your mental stability or instability? You remember a long time ago, Deacon Jones, somebody else might remember, I don't want to call their name. I did a little study talking about stress eating. Stress eating is when one compensates for an inadequacy by finding comfort in foods that they consume. I don't feel good about myself, I eat. Somebody hurt my feelings, I eat. Somebody don't like me that I want to like me, I eat. Somebody think I'm trying to be something else, I eat. Somebody accuse me of being too cute, I eat. Because I'd rather be fat as them than to make them feel insecure. Really. Pure. Not me. But now I realize, after I put on 300 pounds, that what I put on to comfort me is now killing me. And this is how sin works. Sin finds its comfort in things that we're familiar with. And it offers us a temporary good feeling. Man, I love the taste of this. I love the flavor of that. Give me more of that. Whatever that is. But I know I shouldn't be eating it. But if I hang around folks who say, child, I know how you feel, go and get you a little. You deserve it. You entitled. You work hard. You ought to have you just a little dab. You hang around folk like that, you'll overindulge every time. But Lord, help the silent and come to church. Find somebody like me, tell them. How's that working for you, Lord? Has the audacity to say, you gain some weight. That's what happens when you come to church. You come to be flattered by the folks sitting around you, and then the pastor comes to bust your bubble. It's his job to make you aware that you're in a condition that's killing you. I'm going to pat you on the back and say, how you doing, when I know that you walked in the door and you sweating from your brow and breathing like 6 people been chasing you down the block. You got too big. And this is what sin does in our lives. You walk around acting like you got it all together, and then discernment kicks in and says, you are spiritually overweight. You got too much sin in your life. And then somebody has to point that out in order to make you painfully aware that you need to get rid of it.